Hello and welcome back as we go into our deciding game of the night. SNHU Yellow versus SNHU Blue versus Queens Gales. About to finish off this set. Should be really exciting. We had a great first set come out there from SNHU. Queens Gales immediately fighting back, taking a great second set. So this is here to decide a lot of it.
This is not a great matchup to begin here. Excited to see how SNHU approaches this time.
Worth noting, while this set is going on, a little bit for those of you that are here to watch SNHU Yellow as they play later tonight versus Bryant and Stratton College, we'll be hopping in midway through their set, since this one has just been a little bit more of a banger than we expected. Has been going on for quite a bit. We wanted to make sure we caught the tail end of this one for sure. So if you're here for that, don't worry, it'll be right on after this set is decided. But Crust starting to build up some big damage already on SNHU. Pretty significant life lead here.
Russ is turning it up right now. I have to imagine that he wants to run it back after that last game.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of between these two. These matchup has been pretty close between these two. Definitely SNHU has been stepping it up as Ganondorf, and definitely a lot more of a Ganondorf guy that's a lot more mastery than you might expect to see on this character in a lot of scenarios here. But Crust has been doing a great job of just building up so much damage, and he'll be able to set him off with a pretty big stuff there. SNHU goes down a stock, and Crust holds on to that third one. Still just 30% left.
Yeah, I mean, into Ganon now, that's 30% is kill percent. You know, you got to be very careful with those smash attacks. They're hard to hit for the Ganon, but if they do, you're getting sent flying.
Yeah, you cannot be you cannot be caught lacking around Ganondorf, because he will just hit you with a random move out of nowhere that will just kill you.
Yeah,
and that's something that you really, really got to worry about here. But Crust starting to move back in, starting to try and establish a little bit more screen space, starting to tack on some more damage through this harassment. He gets to throw him back up once again. Now off towards the ledge. That reflector to send him even further back. Not going to be able to stuff him this time. Enough force to come right back up. Not going to get spiked. Almost a scary situation, but hanging on just fine. SNHU now down here will get stuffed again, and now it's going to be Crust who's off the side here and will barely not be able to come back up.
I mean, you can hear it from the. I don't know if it came through on cast, but we got a lot of bad splines, and I absolutely agree with that. SNHU's at 140 right now. This is incredibly dangerous. One wrong move can get him sent into the nearest blast zone.
Yeah, this is not a situation where you can really feel comfortable with SNHU even after that stock comes out for Crust. He's playing a little bit over ambitious, but SNHU just hanging on here, will get punished for that one, and Mike gets sent off the edge. He will down to the final stock for SNHU, a 1-on-1 now. Definitely a good thing for both sides here to make sure that this game does not end up too one-sided, although I think both players would definitely love for that to be the case.
This stock is going to be so important, I think, to sort of set the momentum and the pace of the next couple games. And the rest of this set, to be honest, whoever wins this is going to be, you know, in the driver's seat going into next game. And if that continues to translate as it did last game, that can be incredibly dangerous.
Crust starting to build up some damage, tacking it on. That's a lot of damage he built up in just a little bit there, but he's going to get hit by the side B once again. Or the up B, rather, as he builds up. And now a huge kick comes out and just boots Crust out off the side. SNHU hangs on with just a stock left.
Very, very good effort from Crust, though. Got to be happy with that. I mean, get 2 stocks and really brings that last one to the very limit. That interaction off the left side of stage there, I thought for sure. I thought for sure that SNHU was going down.
SNHU has just kind of proven himself to be very much like a scary Ganon player, right? You know, he is not someone who – he's not the Ganon player that just gets rolled over.
Yeah.
And that is – if you are kind of used to fighting Ganon players who just get rolled over, that can be a very shocking thing to just suddenly be playing against right there.
Yeah, I mean, we laugh and joke, but those niche picks do have their value insofar as they are niche. And like, you know, even the best players don't get a ton of experience into really strong, good, solid Ganons.
Especially in a game like Smash, where the netcode is like you don't really want to play Smash online if you can avoid it, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't run into a lot of situations where you just be like, oh, there's a really good player who plays like X character that lives on the other end of the country. Let me fight him real quick. Let me 1v1 him. Let me learn the character. Let me learn the matchup. And so you're really limited to just by like who lives in your area.
Yeah.
And who plays what characters in your area? Like, who's the best character in your area? And that's why there's so many, like, pocket metas in Smash, is because, like, oh, well, in New York Smash, this character is really good because the person who plays him is just really good, and no one else plays the character who counters him. So you get situations like that happen quite a lot in Smash Bros. And so, like we said, those niche characters can just really pop up out of nowhere and just be incredibly effective.
Yeah. I mean, at least for SNHU, whenever that Ganon has come in, the stocks have not ended up spiraling.
Yeah.
So to speak. It's been fairly close. And while I do think that first game, those first 3 stocks were very, very important and will be incredibly important going forward so as to sort of set the pace, this is not at all insurmountable. There's so much wiggle room right now that it's not a huge deal. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm just hoping Suji does not take a million years to drop off the ledge. I heard some complaints.
Yeah, that was, I mean, definitely a situation where you get a little bit frustrated by that for sure. But
well, especially because I think the complaint coming from some of the I believe teammates or other Smash players within the arena. Yeah. Fellow Smash players, as Prod is telling me right now, was that he stalled for long enough for where the platforms began to move away.
Yeah. I definitely, I mean, something like that kind of feels like it can be a little bit underhanded, but I think it's always best to just kind of assume, like, maybe you didn't realize that would happen. So definitely, I mean, going forward here, hopefully that doesn't happen again, but it will be, I mean, Suji's down to his last stock at the moment, right? That is like you said, an insurmountable difference. That is not an insurmountable difference.
I was gonna say
that is
not
one
what
stock
I said.
is, you might as well just tune out now. The game's basically over now. That is a very minor difference. You'll see at the end of most of these games, people are left with 2 stocks left anyway. It's very rarely goes down to the final 1-on-1, and so this is a situation where this is SNHU, a small road bump, but they could easily kind of get through this, even things up, and then start from there. Start from your third player on, and then it's really going to come down for both SNHU and the Gales. I think how it's been in these last few sets is who's on anchor, who's actually up to just really weigh this thing down and get it done, clean it up.
Yeah, every team needs a rock.
Yeah,
you know, good old reliable rock. They're always consistent, always able to run it back when they need to. You know, maybe not the flashiest player in the game, but always able to be that great presence, not just in game but outside of it as well.
Having a player that is just consistent is so nice because the hardest thing in these games is consistency. You know, everyone has good days, everyone has bad days, but making sure that the difference between your good days and bad days isn't that big is such it's a trait that comes with a lot of time invested in the game, and a lot of experience.
Yes, absolutely. It's not hard to be consistently bad. It's very hard to be consistently good.
I feel like it is kind of hard to be like to have your consistently bad and your consistently good near each other.
Yeah.
Like
that is difficult
for a lot of people. You know, it's like even if you're kind of low skilled at a game, your consistently bad will still be way worse than your consistently good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like reining those in, you know, even if it's like, oh, well, their consistent level that they play at usually might be worse than these other players when they're really popping off, but they will always play at that level, and they will always be there and give you exactly what you expect. And in a situation like this, that's what you need.
Yeah, like those consistent players are going to be the ones that really, like, I'm hearing some yelling here.
Some popping off in the arena.
Popping off, yeah. Those consistent players are going to be the ones to really lead the way. In close sets like this one.
They're the backbone of the team. They make up the kind of foundation of it. And although the other players might get a little bit more cheer for being flashier or being, you know, they've got the big plays, they're having a great day, things like that. It's the players who always show up and always play at that at that level that is asked of them, those are the players that really kind of anchor things down.
Yeah, I think those type of players need a little more support widely. All the flashy players get all the hype, and I get it. It looks really cool, but those players that are so consistent all the time have a different skill set.
Yeah.
That they're able to tap into, that not a lot of players have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% agree. And as we get ready to go into this next set that's going to come up here, I mean, it is Suji still in there with one stock left, so it's going to be very hard for him. But he has been a very consistent player. I would be surprised if he isn't even able to find one stock, right? And if he does find a stock, that is so fantastic for Queen's Gale. It's really up to SNHU just to try and do this as cleanly as possible. And for Quackers, who's currently up at the desk, he's going to be the next one going in versus Suji. That is a great spot to be in because you've got the versatility, you've got so many options that you can play into Ganondorf. You can really choose the pace of the game as Pokemon trainer, and that is what's really going to allow SNHU to kind of get the upper hand in this match, aside from only having to go through one stock.
No, the one stock doesn't matter. Suji has 50 million stocks, all the time in the world on the clock. Let's see if he's going to use all the time in the world on the clock. But yeah, the ability to be so versatile on this Pokemon trainer. Okay, that's one.
One more. Gets the footstool to come out, but it's going to go straight off the edge this time. Suji now stepping into the ring. One stock left versus Quackers. 3 versus 1 will start to go in right away, but Quackers hanging on. Starting to try and build some damage. Taking center stage. This is a big situation for him, but there's a lot of damage that comes out here, and I mean, it's a very dangerous spot to be in right now. I'd say he's already almost within kill range. Definitely is now for Ganondorf, trying to get right back up. That 2-frame not going to hit as Quacker starts to get back up with that grab. Comes through, and now 85%.
Yeah, is that Volcano Kick the only 2-frame? Because if so, that's I get it, but man, that's probably not going to hit.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard to time there for Ganon. And so, I mean, we just might see him just kind of play back a little bit on these ledges a little bit more. We'll be able to get a grab here onto Quackers. Not going to be anywhere close to a kill throw, but just trying to zone him out here in case he tries to jump up here. It's a smash into his garden. We'll be able to take a stock.
Yeah, I was just going to say I kind of expected the Charizard swap a little sooner, but I suppose it all depends on how comfortable you are on the individual Pokemon there. The downside, the drawback of that versatility is that functionally, to play Pokemon Trainer well, you have to learn 3 entirely separate characters.
Quackers is down 2 stocks now. Zero Suji still hanging on to 65%. He's just been running at him, throwing the command grab, throwing the kick, throwing the command grab, throwing the kick, and Quackers finally be able to close out this set, but man, did that hurt.
Yeah, that is more damage than you would like to take if you're Quackers, but realistically, you can't dwell on that. That's not like
keep moving forward.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is not productive to dwell on what went wrong for too long. Obviously, learn from it, but that comes after this game.
Yeah, it's gonna come down.
Suji is done.
Yeah,
no more Ganondorf.
He's out. Like finally that Ganondorf, that problem Ganondorf is out of the situation. Now it's the rest of the Gales that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And for Quackers, he might only have 1 stock left, but his goal here is just to make this try and hurt as much as he can, because with 1 stock it's going to be so hard to win a match like this. But he can definitely, like Suji just did, really make it hurt, and he's got to try and equalize this as much as he can.
Absolutely, and I think Pokemon Trainer is one of those characters that can really draw out those singular stocks to make it really, really sting. That Charizard, again, not the strongest of the trio, probably the worst of the trio, but once you get a character into those high percentages, or even those medium percentages, to be completely honest, a lot of those hits will just send you flying. Especially with how conservative Quackers is probably going to be playing that up B out of shield on Charizard.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really incredible option for when you have to play those slow. You miss a hit on shield and you're going up.
Yeah, Charizard's definitely a nice kind of anchor. It's almost like, you look at crew battles, you have like your starter, your middle players, and your anchor. Pokemon Trainer is kind of similar in that regard because you do have like your starter to kind of scout out the matchup, play forward, try and get that opening damage in as much as you can. Yeah, your middle players, Ivysaur comes out, just a consistent character, really solid, great frame data, great hitboxes, just overall pretty good character to deal with things. And then when things start to get really bad, like mission critical moment, you pull out the Charizard, you throw out a Flare Blitz or two, you ball. You find a kill, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a big Flare Blitz enjoyer personally.
I think everyone would like to say that they're not a Flare Blitz enjoyer, but I think deep down in here, it's nice to see you hit the button and big kill move goes out, number goes up on screen, everything's right in the world.
Yeah, anybody that says that they don't like Flare Blitz is a liar.
It's a bad move, but I like it.
We are Evolved Caveman. That is a big dragon with a lot of fire, and it does a lot of damage.
We were just talking about how throwing rock is, or every team needs that rock that they can always just throw out there. And as a Evolved Caveman myself, I love throwing rock all the time. It always works out for me.
Throwing rock, starting fire, Flare Blitz.
Yeah.
If Pokemon Trainer Charizard still had that Rock Smash, this would be an entirely different game. Entirely different ball game.
My tier list has got to be like throwing rock, right, and then you got like starting fire. Starting fire is kind of crazy, and then you got Flare Blitz. I think it's like in order of my caveman brain.
Yeah, Flare Blitz is big fire. I said with Dragon, I'm a liar. Charizard's a flying type. Charizard's fire.
He's not a dragon. Come on. He should be.
No final smashes. So,
let's see the Charizard X come out here. Yeah. That's exactly what we need. Let's turn on the final smash meter. See, get things a little bit goofy right now.
All I'm saying, FS meter is sick.
We've seen the Diddy come out from Queen's Gales here versus these final stock on Quackers. It's going to be an interesting matchup here for sure because I think Diddy's got a lot of room to really control the pace of the game.
Yeah, I don't know if I've made my thoughts clear on playing lame, but I'm not, of the characters that I would like to play, they're very fun in like online duos. Mm-hmm. When you're playing with a buddy and just the school bus just dropped off some kids and you want to bust out the Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
I know a couple of my roommates they like that Diddy Kong Inkling combo. I can see the disappointment in your eyes.
Yeah.
I can tell you who later if you want to.
I can make a few educated guesses. I can make a few educated guesses on who.
But it's going to be really interesting to see how the Pokemon Trainer plays into this. I think Squirtle is going to get shut down a lot by those banana peels. Just so much pressure is going to come out for those. But if you can get a stock or two off of this Diddy Kong, that's going to be so huge going forward.
Yeah, that banana is going to buy so much room on stage, but it's going to be up to Jackson here to actually be able to close out this game without taking too much damage. It's very much, ball kind of in his court right now, but Quacker's going to be the one who's got to try and he's a cornered animal right now. Make it hurt as much as possible. Go out with a fight. Maybe even, if he really finds himself in a great situation, then we can talk about winning this game. But at the moment, he just needs to try and take some stocks off the Gales.
Very interesting. We see Quackers come out on the Ivysaur instead of the Squirtle there. And I think that leads into the banana peel pressure. You don't want to play Squirtle into that, necessarily speaking.
Yeah, just getting zoned out there is definitely not something you want to have. And just taking free damage on Squirtle, also not great. Ivysaur is able to control a lot of space with the moves that he does have in his projectiles, which we're seeing a little bit of that come out right now, especially around the ledge just like that as Jackson throws out that banana. Quacker's going to throw out that Nair as well as just chasing on the down throw. A good parry comes out, but just going to keep him safe, not going to allow him to actually punish anything, but a fantastic recovery. He's going to come right back in, do a lot of damage to Quackers.
Even better DI, though. Now we got that Charizard coming out. I want to see it. I'm waiting for the Flare Blitz. If nothing else, that'll get a quick and easy kill.
Like you said, shield is so low right now.
If you're Quackers, like you said, you're a cornered animal right now. You gotta make something happen here.
Oh, he slipped on the banana peel. That is unfortunate. An unfortunate combo comes out there. Quacker's going to get out there as the Gales continue to build up some momentum here. They're now 3 stocks up, a full player ahead. And for the Gales, this is a fantastic situation.
Yeah, I think this Diddy Kong Jackson is kind of that really consistent player that we've been you know, glorifying and putting on the pedestal, so to speak. You know, all of you know, Queen's Gales, I'm very impressed with how they've been able to stay so consistent after that first set, which was kind of, you know, it went how it went.
Yes.
But they've really been able to run it back and just stay in a good headspace and be able to play in such a way that you know, that first game doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, it's gonna come down really to just keeping that mental up and just staying in the right headspace, staying confident, staying, you know, positive mental attitude, all of that. Just keep it rolling, keep it going forward. Don't dwell on like, oh, we're this many stocks behind. Just try and play the best that you can. Try and play the cleanest Smash that you have ever played. Yeah. And you know, if you play well, then this lead will just make itself back up.
Yep. Speaking of consistent players, I'm hearing word that Steven coming in, probably the consistent player for SNHU right now.
Yeah.
Been able to show at all times that he's able to take some great stocks. And if anyone is going to be able to take this lead back right now, I think it's Steven.
Yeah, he has been able to do a lot more, you know, right off of the rip. And so coming in now, he's got an idea who he's playing against. He's had plenty of time to watch them play, see what they're doing. He's seen so many matches with Jackson at this point. Now that we're in the 3rd game of the night so far, so it has just been, these players all are very, very, you know, familiar with each other at the moment. They've got a good idea of what makes each other tick. And for Steven, I think that's going to give him another layer to kind of, he's been a very solid player, but now he's got to be a very solid player that is going to be able to exploit these things that they've been able to pick up on the Gales roster. And we'll go ahead and hop into game here. Diddy Kong versus Mario. Both sides 3 stocks tall, but SNHU is 3 stocks down. A lot of ground to make up here. Let's go ahead and get started.
I think you're going to look for some silly maneuvers, especially with that down B. Just getting off stage so that Diddy can't set up these banana peels. That's going to be really big to stop that, you know, zoning potential of Diddy here. That's really been what's slowed Steven down in this matchup in the past.
Steven taking some damage there as Jackson starts to move in. He has center stage right now, Steven. Going to fire back with that rapid jab, just trying to control space. We'll get thrown right back out, but that spin comes through, and now the up tilt comes up, and it's going to be Jackson has to try and land into Steven, but Steven gets sent off the edge now in disadvantage. A banana peel hits, and a combo comes out, but not going to be too much that comes through. Stage spike will come after them. Steven's at 122%, have a chance to build up some percentage here, build up some of this advantage. He's really looking forward, but goes just a little bit too high and suffers.
Yeah, a little greedy there. It's a really unfortunate loss of the stock there. That sequence was a little awkward when that flood did not send horizontally, as I assume Steven expected it to, but instead shot him up like he was in a rocket. From there, you kind of have to reevaluate your entire game plan. Still, though, Jackson on the Diddy Kong at 120 right now. One good move is going to be enough to get this game back to, you know, even stocks.
He's doing a great job of building up a lot of percentage right now, and a big stuff comes out, but going to be able to get right back up through to Steven still 87%. Jackson holding on. He's very deep into this stock. It's up to Steven to just try and get this last hit in, but Jackson's controlling so much space. This banana peel is going to get right up into it, and Steven's now down 2 stocks.
This banana peel is just putting in so much work.
There we go.
There we go.
Able to find a stock there off of Jackson. Finally able to clinch that one out. Steven now he's a little bit into his last stock, but he's got to make up some ground here. Got to deal with this stock lead that Jackson has. He's 1 full stock up. Steven needs to start to build up some value here, and he will be able to hit that stage spike there at the end. Just trying to build up some damage.
Yeah, that's a good little combo to sort of stop the bleeding and get your own momentum. This is huge.
Barely going to miss there as Jackson recovers back on the stage. Steven has built up a good bit of damage here. He just needs to try and cash out at this point. He's getting to the point where he's going to be able to at any second. Good block there, not able to get the punish, but Jackson goes back in and up B goes out just to build up even more damage. Steven's caught on the platform. That's to try and land into Jackson. He's going to eat some damage for it. He gets caught on the platform once again. They're so brutal, but just can't get quite where he needs to apply some pressure.
That last move is always the hardest one to hit. That, you know, and I think a lot of the time you just start to get into your own head. You know they're at kill percent. Oh my goodness, what a spike.
Relentless. Jackson continuing to just go and only lost a stock right there. SNHU down to their final player, final 3 stocks. Golden Gales, they've still got a good bit there. They've got 8 stocks left in the pool.
There's a very solid buffer here for Golden Gales. But you can't say that this is not over. It's not over till the fat lady sings type deal. And I don't hear any singing right now.
This is definitely, you know, it's getting down to the wire, but this game is not over yet as Insignia sits down in the chair here. About to go in versus this Diddy Kong, a scary matchup. You know,
I will say, I heard some murmurs that we will not be seeing Corrin.
Well, if we see a Bowser, then
I cannot confirm that this is the plan. This is the rollout. But that is what I've been.
Okay.
That is what I heard being yelled across the.
I'm kind of excited to see that then, if we do end up seeing that, because that's going to be, you know, just once again having that player switch between characters can change up so much.
Yeah, because then your download is corrupt.
Yeah. You got to restart.
Yeah, you got nothing. You like Windows update.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Everything broke now.
Didn't work. Blue screen. And now you got to run it back. But now, if you're Insignia, you've seen Jackson time and time again. They might not have seen your Bowser, and if they have, it's been through VODs.
Yeah.
And you know, as helpful as VODs are, I can tell you from experience that they do not beat practical, like, one-on-one, mano-y-mano.
They help you get that knowledge, but how to apply that knowledge is a completely different beast.
Exactly. And I think that's where swapping off that Corrin potentially could be so strong in sort of just gumming up the works.
You get that element of surprise back, that element of like, oh, they don't know exactly how I play. You know, even if you are, a high up player in your state, even if you're a little bit notorious here, you know, Queens Gales, you know, they're not a New Hampshire college. You know, they might not be that familiar, but we are going to see the Bowser come out to anchor things down. The final 3 stocks of SNHU, the last hope for tonight for SNHU Blue. Insignia here. The fight against Jackson has 8 stocks to burn through, a long way to the top. I mean, it's definitely a trip that he's made before.
Yeah. Insignia from the rumblings that I've heard, despite the banter from the crowd at the time, incredible player. And I've heard great things about this Bowser. That Corrin on its own was incredibly impressive, but
yeah, he's definitely a notorious player to work with. And you're seeing already just so much damage building up for Jackson at the moment. Insignia starting to take some damage himself as Jackson moves up, tries to take center space, but holding on to that, getting up onto this upper platform here, trying to drop down onto Jackson, trying to get this jump in. We'll be able to get the grab into the Bowser bomb, slips on the banana, but that's okay. He's already done enough damage as is, and a big straight punch to take him further out as cannot get back up, finds the kill, takes a stock off Jackson. Insignia at 80%, needs to hold on tight now, 90. Cannot let Jackson start to build up even more ground. He's going to start to already, he's got him up to 70%.
The scary thing, I've been wanting to say this for, you know, a quick second here, but the scary thing with Bowser is clean, first of all, absolutely spotless.
Yeah.
Incredibly clean. The scary thing about playing into a heavyweight like Bowser as Diddy Kong is that the damage you do matters less.
Yes.
Because you are inherently, Bowser's kill percent is higher. Conversely, Diddy Kong's kill percent is a lot lower, particularly into that Bowser, whose moves have so much knockback.
Yeah. You were like a ragdoll getting flown or flung around as Diddy Kong. It is so tough for him to stay alive, and Bowser is just, I mean, is effortless. Like Diddy Kong hits him with his biggest attack, and Bowser barely moves at all.
Yeah,
it is so tough for a super lightweight character like that to kill a super heavyweight like Bowser.
Yeah, it's like in the trailer. Like you got to throw a lot of snowballs to take down a King Bowser. You know, and those snowballs were not thrown. At least not adequately by Jackson. And I think Jackson is really that stalwart defense. If Insignia is able to get the momentum off this game could turn in an instant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll see the Gales are sending in a Pokemon trainer, the same one that we saw before, of course. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, for Bowser, I feel like you see that Squirtle, you are just swinging. You are
you're rubbing your hands together like, oh.
That is like, oh, Squirtle, I hit him twice. He's at 60%. Die.
Fresh meat.
Yeah, it is. That is great. But once you start getting into Ivysaur and Charizard, you know those are to get a little bit harder to kill. And for Bowser, I think that could be a little bit of a problem, especially. But Squirtle, I mean, he's a big combo character. I think if he's really able to get into Bowser, it'd be a big thing there. But we'll see how much that tough guy armor from Bowser protects him from a lot of the lighter, faster hits from Squirtle.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play so careful on that Squirtle though into Bowser. Like one good hit at like 40 can send you, and suddenly like you're down a stock.
Yeah.
Or at bare minimum you are on the back foot, about to lose a stock. You know.
I mean, this is an interesting matchup. I think this is pretty at least a pretty even matchup for sure. I think that maybe Pokemon Trainer play a little bit more of a runaway game. They play Ivysaur. They can just kind of try and space out Bowser, who's very much trying to rush you down, get in your face, make you scared. Ivysaur can he has a lot of tools to deal with that. Has a lot of tools to push you off of him and just create space. And that's gonna be something that we're probably gonna see used a lot.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, after watching that game, I would be scared of that Bowser.
Oh yeah,
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But that is definitely going to strike some fear into the hearts of Golden Gales there. Just seeing those stocks just wash away with no dent, no crack in the armor.
Yeah.
Visible. There's
It's just a gain for SNHU. They didn't lose anything in that match.
Yeah, there's the light at the end of the tunnel. It just isn't appearing.
Yeah. This is a situation for the Gales right now where they need to. I mean, they need to start reining in Insignia, obviously. He's the final 3 stocks for SNHU. They need to at least do a little bit of chip damage in between these rounds. But, even there's 2 players left for the Gales. If they both take 1 stock, that's not enough.
Yeah, and
one of these players is going to need to really step up the game.
I from a player's perspective, right, I'm thinking ahead. What if Insignia gets a really early kill?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That is fantastic for SNHU and utterly terrifying for the Gales.
Yeah.
Because those scenarios are when you're mental. If you are not like, if you do not have the ironclad mental to where you are just unshakable, that is where you're going to start to spiral a little bit. You're going to second guess yourself. You're going to make those doubtful decisions that are going to get capitalized on by players like Insignia, who are so good and so polished and have put so much time into the game.
I think one of the scariest parts about that Bowser that we saw in the last game is that Diddy is very much a character that if he wants to, he can play runaway. He can just create space and just continue to try and zone you out. Bowser was all over him the entire time. It's an incredibly sticky character. It's really, really hard to get away from.
Absolutely. Back on Pokemon Stadium 2.
So we get started off here. Both sides. Full power right now. Insignia still holding on to those 3 stocks. We go in, just trading damage back and forth pretty evenly at the moment. You can see Insignia is just zoned in right now. He knows that this is, like I said, it's a long way up to the top from here, but he has already kind of made a sizable dent into that.
And again, like when you're on that Squirtle, like all this percent is great, but it's not you're going to have to make a swap to actually truly capitalize on it. Meanwhile, every hit that Insignia gets is like terrifying for Boone on this Squirtle. At 71%, you are absolutely killable. Ivysaur, maybe not so much, but still a good move, good solid move. Has potential to send you outside the blast zone.
Yeah, that 2-frame just not quite connected. His Insignia now starts to move through. Good fire breath there to build up some damage. Now at 140, he knows he's got to be on that Charizard to start making these hits really count. But the Bowser Bomb goes out on the top platform, going to send him very high. If that was any other Pokemon, that would likely be one that got KO'd there. But the Flare Blitz is blocked and punished.
That's the risk you take. You start to look for those real fast kill moves, but unfortunately, those fast kill moves do not have fast frame data very often.
And now Boone starting to get back in here, 33% already, gonna get grabbed out of that transformation, and now for Insignia, he's in a pretty good spot right now, right on the ledge. He has a high percentage, but Boone needs to be center stage to really do anything with that. That 2-frame still not connecting as Charizard comes out now. See, good spot dodge, able to block one of those jabs, but Insignia not going to get punished for it. Will get hit there by that dash attack. It's going to get sent out as Insignia now comes back on a fresh stock. That's one for Boone. He's starting to put a dent in that armor.
I don't know if the immediate swap to Squirtle is the right play, and that's exactly why.
Good comedic timing once again, as always. Just puts down that Squirtle immediately. Now Insignia has just created a huge upset here. If he's able to build up so much damage right here, this could be really, really good.
And now you gotta think for Boone, those thoughts are creeping in.
Oh, he can barely reach. He's not gonna be able to get back up, and he's out.
That is tragic for Queen's Gales.
Yeah, now down 3-2. SNHU are beginning to make their way back up. Only a 1 stock difference now. Well, what was the stock difference when he came back in here? It was 9 to 3.
Two whole players.
It was not just 9. It was 3.
Yeah, there was a 2 people difference.
Yeah, it was insane how much ground has been made up here. Now we're down right to the wire once again, down to the final 2 players.
Yeah, and it's not as if that was, no, it's not as if Insignia was close to losing that second stock. That was dominant.
Yeah,
that was a stomp.
It was really, really nicely played from Insignia there. Just starting to build up so much ground. Like we said, only a 1 stock difference between these two now. That is such a difference from what we saw before. And this level of difference, yeah, I mean, this is getting really scary for the Gales. You got to be sweating if you're the anchor.
Yeah, I mean, they're wherever they are playing, whether it be an arena like this or just in their dorms or some sort of facility, there is a puddle.
I'm hearing the little people in my ears telling me that there is a certain Banjo-Kazooie on the scene once again.
Shane Sholey, I need to
yes,
ask
Matthew
you.
Palsy Hamill.
Do you think that's the pick?
Well, there's no going back now.
Well, I don't think that is a particularly encouraging answer.
It is one of the picks where you asked me if it's the pick. It wouldn't be my pick, but it's a pick, and it's one that I mean, that Banjo worked out pretty well. Shelix seems to be a little bit of a Banjo specialist, as we saw. Seems to be very, very well versed in the kind of tech that is on display here. But I mean, Banjo is kind of universally considered to be a little bit of a weaker character, and so it's really going to come down to how far Shelix can take this vehicle that is Banjo, how far he's able to pilot this, given he's got a little bit of a disadvantage coming in, but he's definitely shown he's very much competent on this character, and he does have that stock lead coming out right away. But let's go ahead and get started with the final set. SNHU Blue versus Golden Gales. This one decides everything here.
Absolutely. I will say, I'm not trying to downplay Shelix's skill here. Proven to be a very, very skilled player, but I'm a little nervous because all 3 of those feathers already gone.
I mean, he's got that stock lead, though. He can really afford to just be very, very open with how he spends his feathers. But Insignia now coming on down, starts to build up some damage. He's already taken so much, though, and we're seeing with this Banjo, he's really able just to poke at you from a distance and really make it hurt if he's able to find one of these feathers going through. But a nice punish there, and that kills!
I guess it does. You know, let's say Shellix DI'd out for the feather reset. Was out of feathers at that time.
Intentional reset.
Yeah. At least that's what they're telling themselves.
Ooh.
Great berry, but
yeah, that's going to be a little bit rough for SNHU. Just down to Insignia's final stock at the moment. Shellix still holding on to 2. Ideally for Insignia, you find some way to find an early kill here. He does not want to be going into like the 100% as he goes into Shellix's second stock.
Yeah, and with how this game functions, no Bowser side on the table anymore.
Yeah, there is no more of that. Although I gotta be honest, I've never seen Insignia do that before. I think he's very much avoiding that as an option.
Yeah, it's definitely not the option that I would go to in general, but in a very last-ditch effort type scenario, it is not necessarily unusable.
Insignia trading back and forth, just taking some damage here. Shellix at 56% right now, not quite low enough to find this kill. He's barely got any feathers left. Insignia starting to approach here and have a ton of options. That grenade goes out. We'll give him that reset there, and Insignia's just not going to be able to reach back up. He had to go for the risky play to try and make up that life lead. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out there. Banjo coming out and doing great. I mean, I think I'm seeing it's a really strong pick when you've got that stock advantage. When you've got that life to just throw away, suddenly you just have, you know, more feathers than you would normally.
That's the great thing, I think, about Smash Ultimate in particular. You know, there are characters in games in the franchise like Melee where if you pick them, you are immediately throwing the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that there are nearly as many characters like that in Smash Ultimate. Even characters like Banjo, which are, you know, I, as someone completely separate from the meta game, knows is not very good, generally.
I think that really, I mean, the big strength there really seemed to me, personally, was that in that crew battle setting, you know, if you play Banjo, you just have more feathers than you would normally, and that kind of allows you to spend them in ways where you're just racking up damage, and then it's like you're throwing away one of your stocks just to basically deal extra damage, and that seems really strong in that particular context. I can really respect the Banjo pick. I think it got some merit there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those picks too where you're not going to get practice in against it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Who in the world plays Banjo at a high level and doesn't like immediately swap?
Yeah. It's not many people there, so it's just one of the situations where it's a tough matchup to see for sure, and unfortunately for SNHU, just didn't go our way tonight. That will be our game, SNHU Blue versus Queen's University, the Golden Gales, but we're not done for the night. We still got one more game in us. We've got SNHU Yellow versus Bryant and Stratton College. We're halfway through, or we're actually partway through that set as we speak right now, going on in the background. So we're going to throw it over to a quick break while we get ready to hop into that one midway through. We'll be back in just a few minutes with SNHU Yellow.
Yeah, it's really impressive. What can you do? You got to be very careful around that banana.
Nice little combo there in the F smash to read the comeback in. Steven's going to be able to try and confirm into the spike, but they're not going to miss it. Steven now has to try and land on the stage into Jackson. That might be a little bit tough here, but will be able to get his boots on the ground. But he will get taken out there. Got back to stage, just moving straight past Jackson here. Now he's still got the banana here. He'll end up taking a little bit of a hit there as he gets punished from the throw, but he comes back up with Perry, and it's going to go wide. Both of them fail to punish.
He's able to go a lot more aggressive into this Pokemon trainer than he was into the Diddy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because Diddy is so good at zoning you out, really, Pokemon trainer is definitely the back throw is going to buy him a lot of space to work with here, and we'll see if he actually wants to play off the ledge. But he's going to try and play for the get-up game here on the ledge. Going to find some nice blocks there on the shield, but not going to be able
to just get that early kill. Whereas one good move from Steven here is going to end this round.
Oh, he's able to get the throw into the back throw and will be able to kill the stock lead for SNHU. Even at the moment, I mean, things are pretty even. Yeah. Steven's been able to make up a ton of
This
ground.
game is dead even now. Percent, like,
oh!
What a punish.
Definitely, if he was a little bit higher up, that would have They're actually able to catch the top as well, and now Stratton's on his side here, so he just throws it straight up, and now obviously trying to deal with around the ledge here. A great punish from
Steven's been on. Steven's on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really feeling it here, and he's looking for these big opportunities, building up a ton of damage, but a great parry. A staple for Falco. Just waiting for the top of the cloud to reflect it back out. Almost reflected the beam. Would have been a little bit scary there, but not going to go quite on target. He's going to go take the kill just like that. Crush on the ground. He will finally be able to. He's actually going to bait out that reflector and just fly straight in, but Russ is back off to the other end of the stage. We'll be able to back up on the ledge. That down air is not going to hit, and he's going to be able to pick.
He's able to get some good percent, but that's a kill.
Yeah. No, like I said when Crush was fighting Rob, Falco's one of those characters who gets to decide who gets to play with. He's pretty good at doing both of those. And he's just tossing around this Ganon right now, and a little bit of a scary situation for him right here. He's not going to be able to get back up to ledge at least, but Crush is now back in a situation where he just found a stock. Suji's on his final stock here, and Crush is at 99. It wouldn't be surprising to see a Falco just get hit by a greatsword, explode into a bunch of feathers.
Gotta be honest, my timing tonight been impeccable.
I mean, good comedic timing, some comedic matchups here, but the kick is gonna go
all that much. If you're Suji, there's nothing you can do. You get that high percent, and you just hope for a big kill move on stage. You don't have the room to take those risks. That Rob launches off stage. It's such a good option, especially since Ike recovery is so vertical.
Ooh, that's a fantastic combo once again. Gonna go so lightweight that makes it smart with the Mighty Sword on the recovery. And to avoid this two frame much safer. So that will be able to block it up B, but it cancels into the ledge grab, which is very nice. It's not gonna punch this damage off the up B as well. Trying to hit that two framer, not gonna be able to. A lot of space gained there from Boone in the side B. He's gonna get caught out by that flame breath. Gonna get punished once again by that flame breath. Gonna get punished once again on that up tilt. Ron Lunch now down a stock as Boone barely hanging on to his second here. We'll see how long he's actually able to hold on to it, and not for long. And someone like Tyler can really just toss you around and throw you out at the moment. You really start to get up around that 80% mark. Squirtle just becomes such a high risk option, and Ron Lunch is just gonna
really frustrating. Boom, climb at a little bit.
Whenever you see it, that's very much like, oh, I can build up control at that moment. But, yeah. But they're still hanging on here. They're still hanging on. Boone at 150%. Steven 101. Doesn't want to lose a stock, but will do. That's going to be a stock deficit for SNHU as they go into the next match.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Boone, you're happy here. I mean, there's nothing more to say about it. You got a stock in a scenario, in a game where you probably shouldn't have.
Starting to walk up, trying to control some space. You can back up on the ledge, but it's going to be Steven who finds that big hit there to send him up, and finds it again. Sends him off the top and back into the background.
This is really scary for Steven. That just doesn't kill. I'm really surprised they're great DI from Steven on that Mario, but you can only live for so long at that.
But not going to be able to find anything.
This is so scary. I mean, Steven's just on the back foot there right now.
Ooh. Yeah, always love to see a stock end like that, but now Insignia is the one back in the driver's seat here. He continues to try and just pressure Jackson here on the platform, just swats him away.
Let's be honest, a lot of Corrin's moves is ginormous.
Yeah.
A lot of, I mean, huge kill for Jackson. Still in a bit of a deficit for SNHU now. But Insignia's just been playing so well, and that gets the
43%. We'll be able to get that up. Just clip him on the ledge right there for a second, but these back airs coming out from Insignia, you got to be so scared of these. Any single one of these could probably just outright kill this Ganon at this point, but he's going to
stage right. You know, if you're Insignia, you just have to play this a little slow. You're at 118% right now. Walked up
as well. Going to start to build up some combo damage here. Has to try and find an opportunity to really build up a huge dent kind of into the Gale's lead here, but he will just get spiked.
Familiar with every line in this league, but that platform came in just as that was you were leaving the neutral there. I think that's a kill. Oh! I mean, anything if you get spiked into the bottom last time.
Yeah, all that time you spend being menacing is just time ticking down on the clock, and for us, that's exactly what he wants, but he's going to SD there. He's
chicken that I don't want to play.
just going to back up on the stage, not going to get hit by that down smash, not going to get scooped up, just getting this damage tacked on more and more, and another spike comes out.
Another one.
This stock sooner rather than later, but that will be only one feather left for Shellix at the moment, and it will go through. That's a lot of space gained by Shellix.
As I always say, that feather is the real kill, and you know, at that point, you're out of your big kill move. That stock reset is not necessarily strongly disliked. That's so scary. No punish, but man, that's terrifying for us. Just barely gets back on stage. Huge grenade. Oh.
More of a Ganondorf got a lot more mastery than you might expect to see on this character in a lot of scenarios here. But Cross has been doing a great job of just building up so much damage, and he'll be able to set him off, with a pretty big stuff there. Suji goes down a stock, and Cross holds on. So that third one's still just 30% left.
Yeah, I mean, into Ganon now, that's...
Not gonna get spiked, almost a scary situation, but hanging on just fine. Suji now down here will get stuffed again, and now it's gonna be Crust who's off the side here. Will barely not be able to come back up. Situation where you can really feel comfortable with Suji even after that stock comes out for Crust. A little bit over ambitious, but Suji just hanging on here, will get punished for that one, and might get sent off the edge. He will now. Starting to build up some damage, tacking it on. That's a lot of damage he built up in just a little bit there, but he's going to get hit by the side B once again. An up B rather, as he builds up, and now a huge... This might seem to just kind of play back a little bit on these ledges a little bit more. We'll be able to get a grab here onto Quackers. Not going to be anywhere close to a kill throw, but just trying to zone him out here in case he tries to jump up here. Hits a smash into his guard.
How comfortable you are on the individual Pokemon there. The downside, the drawback of that versatility is that functionally, to play Pokemon Trainer well, you have to learn 3 entirely separate characters.
Here's is down 2 stocks now. Zero Suji still hanging on to 65%. He's just been running at him, throwing the command grab, throwing the kick, throwing the command grab, throwing the kick, and Quackers finally be able to close out.
If you're Quackers, you're, like you said, you're a cornered animal right now. You gotta make something happen here.
Oh, he slipped on the banana peel. Through to Steven still. 87%. Jackson holding on. He's very deep into this stock. It's up to Steven to just try and get this last hit in, but Jackson's controlling so much space. This banana peel is going to get right up into it, and Steven's now down 2 stocks.
This banana peel is just putting in so much work.
There we go. There we go. Able to find a stock
that, you know, and I think a lot of the time you just start to get into your own head. You know they're at kill percent. Oh my goodness.
Into the Bowser bomb, slips on the banana, but that's okay. He's already done enough damage as is, and a big straight punch to take him further out, as cannot get back already. He's got him up to 70%.
The scary thing, I've been wanting to say this for, you know, a quick second here, but the scary thing with Bowser...
Oh! Knows he's got to be on that Charizard to start making these hits really count, but the Bowser Bomb goes out on the top platform. Going to send him very high. If that was any other Pokemon, that would likely be one that got KO'd there, but the Flare Blitz hits! With that 2-frame still not connecting as Charizard comes out now. You see Spot Dodge able to block one of those jabs, but Insignia not going to get punished for it. Will get hit there by Insignia. Now comes back on a fresh stock. That's 1 for Boone. He's starting to put a dent in that armor.
I don't know if the immediate swap to Squirtle is the right play.
Oh! And that's really, really good.
And now you know, you gotta think for Boone, those thoughts are creeping in.
Oh, he can barely reach. He's not gonna be able to get back up, and he's out. Some damage. He's already taken so much though, and we're seeing with this Banjo, he's really able just to poke at you from a distance and really make it hurt if he's able to find one of these feathers going through. But a nice punish there, and that kick
was out of feathers at that time.
Is intentional reset.
Yeah. At least that's what they're telling themselves.
Ooh.
Great berry, but
quite low enough to find this kill. He's barely got any feathers left. Insignia starting to approach here and have a ton of options. That grenade goes out. We'll give him that reset there, and Insignia's just not.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Hello and welcome back. So we're going to go into our second set of the night, SNHU Yellow versus BSC Bobcats. And it's actually already started, so let's go off in game. Jumping the gun a little bit here, but on Grona already starting off strong, finding this first stock off of this Dark Pit from the Bobcats. And now, I mean, NECC got a pretty significant amount of damage built up so far on his first stock, but still hanging on, still staying alive, and that's all you can really ask for at the moment.
Ryu, definitely one of those heavy characters, but as I say it, every time I say something, it bites me. But regardless, now we're back to an even game. That Dark Pit, really cool, really interesting pick. Pick. Too many words.
As a quick correction here, it's actually Rock playing at the moment. It's you know, you understand what I'm saying. There's a lot of FGC players here on the SNHU Yellow, which is what makes them one of, you know, I like to watch SNHU Yellow play quite a bit just because they do have a lot of those FGC characters that I find really fun to watch. But Route versus LaFan.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the actual like FGC characters, if only because it's so impressive when they're able to get those strong inputs, especially with Ryu and Ken, because of how the like light, medium, heavy punch system works. Huge focus attack, able to stop that knockback and come through, get a good recovery.
And now just trying to get in here, very high percentage on both sides, and that up area is going to be able to take Rod off the top. Now, the weird spot right now is this Dark Pit is actually going to take it out right away with that Shoryuken, evening things up down to the final stock on both sides. The Shokunetsu going to get reflected there, taking up a lot of screen space, but now just trying, going to get full connected there on the Shokunetsu, take a lot of damage outright. That focus attack coming through will get punished off of that, just hard committing that into shield. A little bit of a risky option here, and Proud just barely able to get back up in time, focusing once again, but not going to find anything off of it there.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with those Shoryukens. They do so much damage.
That's a tough situation to be in right there. Just trying to recover as Ryu into a character like Pit, who's just got such oppressive ledge options. Really great play there from BSC. But for Route, I mean, he was able to get 2 stocks off of this Dark Pit, which is really nicely done. And being able to do that is going to really, you know, it's not going to be a huge deal that he did it. I'm going down here. It's just going to be a 1 stock lead for the Bobcats here, which is pretty nice to, I mean, it's not terrible to have, you know. For SNHU, it is a situation where you're still going to, you know, you're at a small disadvantage, but it's still not a major one, and one that's definitely that you can make up.
Yeah, one stock in the grand scheme of things, 1 stock out of 12.
Yeah.
When, you know, in game, 1 stock sounds like a lot. Realistically, it's those odds are not that bad. You can come back from that fairly easily.
All of these games, like we were saying earlier, a lot of these games end up in a situation where it is like, oh, this person won by 2 stocks, this person won, you know, like they won with 3 stocks. You only come down to a few games that really come down to that final 1-on-1 stock. So now that, I mean, just a 1 stock disadvantage, I mean, it is great for Bobcats to be able to kind of come out, immediately start to dictate the pace of the game. They say like, hey, if we consistently play better than you, we will just outright win this because we already have the lead. We just have to play safe. We just have to play, you know, kind of back play what we know. Don't take risks, and then, you know, we can kind of just hold on to this lead as long as we don't throw it away. It's a good situation for them to start off like this, but for SNHU, it is definitely not anything to get too pressed about here, especially as they get ready to send in their next player to deal with this Dark Pit, who only got 1 stock.
The big question is, like, is the consistency there? You know, to be able to say, all right, if we just keep going, we outpace you. But that, you know, you can't count your count the chickens before they hatch, you know. To be able to continue to steamroll and just get the momentum, keep the snowball going, requires you to you know, get those W's consistently.
Yeah.
We just have to see if that's there.
Yeah.
You know, going into a new matchup.
It's going to be a little bit tricky, but we will see. Coming in next for SNHU Yellow will be NordVPN, our resident Lucas player. A lot of fun to watch. Always. This Lucas is really good to see. And so I'm glad to see this one coming out. I think especially into Dark Pit, you've got a lot of options. You're not feeling too you know, kind of pressed by his ledge options or by his you know, the arrows coming out oppressively afterwards. I think this is a pretty decent matchup for Lucas. Just, you know, eating those arrows, absorbing a lot of health off of that. He's got a lot of options to really try and deal with the annoying parts of Dark Pit.
Especially in a crew battle scenario, any little percentage that you can absorb, really, really big deal.
Yeah.
Able to, you know, one arrow, not going to be much, but they build up. And it gets to a scenario where either you are actively risking your, you know, any potential percent lead by firing off that neutral B, or you just don't fire off your neutral B and you're down a crucial part of your kit.
Yeah. And that is something you got to kind of worry about. And I think especially in this situation, you definitely do. I mean, you know, you'll see most players switch between Dark Pit and regular Pit, between, you know, kind of just determining based on matchups. You know, what tools do they specifically want? It's almost like, you know, just selecting like between two different moves, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think especially against Lucas, you'll see I think you'll probably see Dark Pit coming out because you don't need to rely on those arrows quite as much, which is one of the benefits to Pit over Dark Pit, which is you have a lot more flexibility over the arrows. Dark Pit's very much, you know, your arrows are a little bit stronger, less maneuverability, but overall just more power in your kit. And I think that's definitely something against Lucas that you really want because he is really floaty. He can die really early if you're able to hit him, but he's just so hard to actually lock down and pressure.
Yeah. And Lucas, for being a lightweight, those moves hit hard, like a freight train coming down.
It can be really tough to deal with. And he's got so many great options to work with as well that it is just scary when he's actually got the advantage.
Absolutely. As an avid Lucas enjoyer, especially compared to Ness, like for such a small, floaty character, a lot of the time, you know, at least for me, it feels easy to forget that, you know, behind those cute eyes, like, there are moves that just do, like, some of the most knockback in the entire game.
Oh yeah, no, Lucas is definitely a character. Looks sweet, but there is murderous intent in there, and we're seeing already a lot of damage building up as NordVPN starts to get in, be able to hit these aerials as Stratton's able to get back onto stage.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a NordVPN, you can play a little bit more, you know, I don't want to say aggressively. I don't know if that's necessarily the correct word here, but you can play without worrying so much about making a couple of small mistakes here. You only need to take one stock.
Oh, and he's going to do it just like that. A very, very clean play, and just continuing to kind of keep that up, keep up that consistency. Lucas is a character especially where you can play, you have complete control whether or not you want to play safe or you want to take a lot of risks. You've got complete control over how you play the match. And I think in a crew battle situation like we were talking about, being able to have that versatility, like, hey, do I want to go for these huge risks that I can get a ton of reward off of, or do I want to play back? The ability to like, be versatile and switch between those two modes at any point that you want is, you know, same reason we were talking about Pokemon Trainer being so good. It's a great part of Lucas's kit as well.
And I think the thing is, too, like, the more versatile you are, we keep talking about it, the less predictable you are.
Yes.
I believe we are one game into this set already.
Yes. So the current score at the moment is SNHU Yellow won the first set against BDSC. So now going into the second one here, they're looking to try and, you know, now that we're even, they're looking to try and push forward and try and clinch this out, end the game here, end the set here at the end of this.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, one game in is where that unpredictability is really going to take hold. You can get the download in game one. You can start it, but it doesn't really take effect until, you know, that second or third game, where you've really had the time to study and see and process more than anything what you're seeing.
Yeah, it is definitely like the first set of the night always has that element of unpredictability. You know, it is who is the strongest right out of the gate. But then a lot of times you'll see, you know, the players that can adapt, the players that are very much able to take that knowledge that they've gained and apply it in action. You like seeing players improve in real time is like one of my favorite things about watching esports, and seeing like sets like this is just, I love to see that so much. And so once you get later into sets, you can see that a lot. But we are going to see next player coming up, Font Diner Swanky on Min Min, our resident Kazuya / Min Min player. So two very, very different characters right there. You know, talking about that versatility. They're just covering both ends of the spectrum. You know, like full, just stick to you, rush down, like Kazuya, just right in your face, like 100-0 situations, and then Min, very consistent zoner that wants to kind of control the entire stage.
Yeah, I mean, how do you go into that matchup
Against like knowing that he has both of those in his pocket?
Yeah,
it's tough.
It's like, oh well, we could be facing two separate people.
Yeah.
Inside you, there are two wolves. One is rushdown, one is zoner.
And that's the scariest part. Is the you can just switch wolves at any point.
Yeah.
I mean, he is locked into Min for the rest of this set until he's eliminated. Fortunately, but you know, if something wrong happens here and BSC take this set, he could switch things up easily in the next set, and that's a scary thing to have.
Yeah. We saw it with Insignia last game, and that Bowser was rolling when it came out.
Oh yeah.
You know. It takes time to be able to adapt to the new pick.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, you know, like, it's just, like, you know when you're trying to learn a fighting game, right, and you're playing against your friend, and your friend is someone who plays it for a long time, and they just keep switching characters, and you're like, I feel like I can't learn. Is the same thing in the situations. Having that deep pool of characters is going to make it so hard for people to read you and understand exactly what you're trying to do. So to get started off here, the Big Fish region again. Sorry, actually, I forgot. NordVPN is coming in. We do have a Min/Kazuya player here on SNHU Yellow, but it's going to be Big Fish representing BSC on the Min. I'm interested to see if there is going to be a mirror match at some point down the line between those two.
You know, I don't know if I want to see a mirror match between two zoners all that much, but that's just me. I like the Lucas. I like that NordVPN is able to push forward and take those risks, get those big hits. Although Big Fish doing a really good job of making that space inaccessible.
Yeah, this is what's going to be so strong about Min, right? It's just this constant control that comes out. Now, NordVPN really needs to try to close out this stock as quickly as he can, because losing that first stock is just going to mean that things start to cascade from here on out, and you don't want to lose that stock advantage that you just neutralized.
Yeah, it's just very difficult to even get in, to get those kill moves with those arms. If nothing else, they are incredibly obnoxious, even if they aren't doing a ton of knockback all the time.
And they absolutely can, you know, depending on the move. You know, you shoot out that Dragon's Breath laser, and that is just going to do so much, because you just send it so far off screen. And actually, not going to get the throw off that, just going to continue to press the pummel, just try and build up this percentage a little bit. PK Fire going out, goes a lot of space for Lucas here. Just going in, close out the stock, is taking a healthy amount of damage, though, at 101% at the moment. Now in a scary situation where he could potentially be in danger of losing his stock right away.
Absolutely, especially with that the big yellow ball of doom. One good hit from that, you are gone, turned to dust. Yeah. You got to be very careful to avoid that.
There is going to be, if that hits Lucas right now at 148%, which is going to go off the side there just completely. I mean, turn into a big stream of confetti.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do. You're off stage, and Min's range is so long that she doesn't even really have to commit all that hard to get you, like, hurting off stage.
Yeah, she can definitely just poke at you relentlessly, and that can be so tough to deal with, especially when you're already at, you know, you're at the stock disadvantage. She can very much just kind of sit back and wait for you to make the mistakes. It's not a situation where she has to really control the pace of the game. And Big Fish is really good at recognizing that, and just going to sit back and try and pummel away at NordVPN, who's already at 100% on their final stock.
Yeah, it's a tough scenario, honestly.
Good stuff. Might actually be able to stop her from getting back up. Big Fish going to go down on the final stock now. NordVPN 114% in a weird spot off the side, and will immediately hit by that big yellow ball. Just immediately, boom, there's a red cloud where Lucas used to be. Is gone.
There is no longer a child. That child has not been granted the ability to grow to a man.
Right. Rest in peace, Lucas. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah,
it's tragedy.
With every stock a Lucas player loses, Mother 3 release in the US gets delayed yet another year.
I think Mother fans have accepted that. You know, I think that they've learned to take that L.
Look, I don't want to rub any salt in the wound, but I kind of do. it's kind of a little funny.
Yeah, it is. You know, it is a little funny. Unfortunately, you know you know what the biggest loss recently was?
What?
Was that relevant to Smash? Is that Persona 5 came to Switch? Because now it was just like, oh, I could just be like, haha, you guys don't have it, and he's in Smash, you still don't have it, you want to play it so bad, now I can't rub the salt in the wound anymore.
Well, that hinges on them playing it.
They still won't. That's
I have played it before it came out on other platforms.
Production's getting very
production
bad
is
right now.
if I say the wrong words here, a fight will break out from the pod room. There will be a hole in this drywall, and I will have people on my throat. But no, Persona 5 is a very good game. Is all I was going to say.
That's
all fights avoided.
That's a cold take. That is
yeah. Freezing cold.
Yeah. Guys, I think that Breath of the Wild's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like that's what you just said. Ice cold take right now.
I am sitting in an ice bath.
That was a diplomat take. Like
yeah.
You sense that there was tension building up between production over there and over here, and you're like, guys, it's okay. Persona 5 is a good game.
Look, no, that is my opinion. But I do have some more controversial takes about the franchise that I could save for later. But regardless, that is not about Smash right now. We're just waiting for
just a little bit of banter as we come out. But
yeah.
we will see that, you know, looking as we get further back into SNHU Yellow's roster that's kind of coming out here, we're getting into a situation where the worst part about in crew battles, when you start to get to the end of your roster, yes, like the winner is locked in, they can't switch. You get the opportunity to switch, but your player pool just keeps decreasing. You're running out of options, and that makes you a lot more predictable and a lot more forced to take bad matchups, especially when it's like, oh, you send in someone to deal with this matchup that they're really good into, and they lose it. Now suddenly you've lost that player that's good into that matchup, and you might have to put someone in who's a little bit suboptimal, a little bit worse, and that can be really, really draining to get just put out into a matchup that is bad for you because your teammate ended up not being able to fully complete that match.
Yeah, I mean, crew battles are a really interesting format.
Yeah,
they are some of my favorite Smash games to watch, just because of the natural ebb and flow of momentum, where a team will, you know, be able to get those huge leads, but you send in a good matchup, and suddenly the tide is turned, and then, you know, another good matchup gets sent out. They get a couple socks, but the bleeding stops, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's back to even.
And you run into the situation, like I said, you know, the losing team always kind of is running out of options, and then you look at the winning team, right? And then the moment the losing team actually punches back, takes out a member of the winning team, they just put in someone who's a good matchup. And the death spiral begins. You know, you really have to steal momentum away from the other team, because you are just from the way the format works, the moment you're down, you really have to fight to be able to get back up.
Yeah, I think crew battles are a great way for individual players to show their pure raw skill regardless of matchup.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is so cool. Since so many matches are very much matchup dependent, if you're able to take a dub in a matchup that is not at all favorable to you, that's huge.
Yeah, and looking at crew battles compared to the other, you know, varsity sports we have here on our stream, it's so different because it is that one-on-one, but there is that like meta game team element to it. You know, all of our games, League of Legends, Valorant, Overwatch, Rocket League, these games all have, you know, a team actively working together, cooperating. Here, the team, they're like your therapist. You know, like you go into the game, you complete the game, and your team is sitting there. They're like, "Good job, man. Here's what you can do better." And then like it is so weird, the team dynamic in crew battles compared to any other.
Yeah,
compared to any other of our sports, and it's so interesting to see exactly how it's different.
I think referring to the rest of your team as your therapist is not incorrect, but a little silly.
It is a little silly. And for any other varsity game, I think you would be like, "Oh, that sounds horrible." You'd be like, oh, I just finished this. I got out of an Overwatch game, and now I gotta talk to this guy who fed on my team, and he has to tell me it's all right.
Yeah,
Smash is very different because there's that level of separation between. We are gonna see the mirror match coming out. I believe this is Font Diner Swanky finally coming in. The Min v Min. Should be interesting to see how this one pans out. There is a stock advantage for the Bobcats going into this, but Big Fish down to their final stock should be not too hard for Font Diner Swanky to close out this match.
A lot of blue and purple on this stage. Maybe Font Diner Swanky was looking for that camouflage advantage.
He's got the Snake Eater setup going on. He just checked his camo index before he came into this match, and now he is virtually invisible at the moment.
You know, a lot of people only see based on movement.
The moment he stops moving, you know, he even has a blue arrow over his head. He's invisible to my eyes.
Yeah, I have glasses. I can't see. So.
Font Diner Swanky, I mean, already setting up a very strong center stage presence at the moment. Big Fish gets up onto that platform, but immediately you see that up tilt come out once again, and just blowing him away from a long distance, going so deep to try and chase there, but immediately getting back up and just throwing out that big hit center stage. It makes it so hard to be able to react to that, and look at how hard it is to just get in on this wall that is Swanky.
Big Fish finally able to get to center stage. It took, what, 80% to get there, but they made it. Let's see what they can do with it.
It's been a tough situation. Now here they are. They're able to kind of beat this wall, and Swanky just so far out is not going to be able to recover. That is a stock off of that, but Big Fish going to get sent out right there. Swanky only losing one stock there. Not going to make up the stock difference that has been set in already, but will just start to tick things down and be able to move forward through the gauntlet.
Min just hit the T-pose on either side of the...
Yeah,
you
send it both right. It'll hit someone.
Yeah, you think you can hide? You think you can run?
Yeah.
No, I won't let you.
That is like that's the 4-player free for all move. Like I'm just gonna hit everywhere on screen all at once. But I mean, right there, I mean, we got to see exactly what makes Min Min so strong, right? Because even Min Min versus Min Min, it is just a wall that you cannot break through. The moment that you get in that situation, especially on Kalos, where you can't really go under the stage to avoid that harassment, it is like, oh, I'm just getting hit with a big laser. Well, they're in center stage right now. I am on the edge of the screen and I'm dying.
Yeah, that's the thing with Min Min. You don't have to commit to anything if you don't want to.
Yeah,
you can just sit there, chewing some gum, hands in your pockets like a true delinquent.
Yeah,
kicking some rocks. And
then but the time where she has to actually commit, like when she has to get up on the recovery, it's so tough. Like we saw, especially in Min Min versus Min Min, she's so good at playing around the ledge that once one Min Min goes off the side, her recovery's so bad and so committal and so easy to read that it can be so hard for you to actually get back on in that situation as Min Min.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a big, unbreakable wall.
Yeah. It is very, very hard to deal with. And so for Min Min, I mean, we get to see, obviously, no matter what, one Min Min was going to come out of that. For SNHU, it is theirs going to actually continue to push forward here. And last time Swanky was on, he was actually making a lot of progress through these teams. He was able to kind of hold his own, definitely an endurance player coming out, which should be really exciting for SNHU. This is a chance for them to kind of upset the momentum a little bit because they do, if Swanky's able to hold on to his 2 stocks that are remaining in this next fight, then that is going to be a gigantic boost for SNHU.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Here in From Production, there's a Lucina coming up. Lucina versus Min Min. That's interesting.
I don't know how I feel about that, personally.
It's weird because, Lucina can very much kind of play a rushdown style. She doesn't have to worry about being exact with her spacing like Marth, and she doesn't have to... But it's not quite as much rushdown you would want into Min Min as you would see as like on Roy.
The concern is, I think...
Hey.
We sent a message at the same time we sent that digital mail.
We have...
Oh! It's Lucina coming up next. That's interesting. So Lucina versus Min Min. I feel like... it's nice because she doesn't have to worry about spacing quite as much as you would see on a character like Marth, but it's not quite as much rushdown as I would like to see in a character like Roy, who is very similar, but is going to be able to just break through Min Min's guard a lot faster.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think you could say that again. But regardless, my concern is if I'm the Lucina there, if I get hit off stage, your recovery is purely vertical. You get hit any distance above like 2 steps forward off stage, you're done. That's your stock. Gone.
And that's going to be really easy for Min Min.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially with the sheer variety of ways that she can just stand there menacingly and tear you apart.
Yeah.
And there's no way to, you know, there's no recourse. What are you gonna do? Counter? She's halfway across the stage.
I think it's going to be tough, but it'll be interesting to see because I think Lucina, like, while you said her recovery is not as good, I think that if she gets into the advantage, she'll be able to press Min Min a lot harder. Like, she is going to be
Agreed.
able to go off stage, go for those horizontal kind of dives in, and actually be able to just send her right off screen. That's what you always see on characters like these sorties like Marth and like Lucina, is just the ability to chase so heavily and build up damage so fast that it's very easy for you to just control the screen.
Agreed. The question is that going to happen? Is that going to be how that plays out?
Yeah. It will be definitely interesting to see how much rushdown they kind of play, because once Lucina gets in on Min Min and, you know, they get like right up in their face, Min Min doesn't have super great close-up options. So Lucina's going to be able to potentially, you know, counter up in those close options, be able to read that very easily, get a lot of stuff that's, you know, get punishes on block and things like that. That's all very good for Lucina, and I think that this will be an interesting matchup. It's definitely very much, I think, a skill matchup coming out here. And for Min Min, that's really interesting because Min Min's a character who you see, like, she's a zoner, so there are just, like, half the characters in the game will lose to zoners by default. That's kind of how it is. Like, zoners are almost like, they're like the filter for, like, what makes a good character. Like, if you are a character but you lose to zoners, you're probably not a super good character. And so Lucina, I think, definitely has the tools to get around that and break through it. And Min Min, it's going to be interesting to see how they vary up their zoning game to actually be able to deal with the rushdown from Lucina.
Absolutely.
But as we get ready to go into game, we have them very soon. I want to hear your prediction. I want to hear your prediction. Lucina versus Min Min. You know, no biases cast aside. Looking at this matchup, Swanky, he's on fire right now. He's heated up. He's been warmed up. He's been in game. This Lucina's just hopping in now. They had a set to play before this. How do we feel?
Having not seen this Lucina, my decision would be, you know, more impacted had I seen Lucina a little bit, obviously.
Yeah.
Swanky, on fire right now. That Min Min looked really, really solid. I think the Min Min takes it. I would not be surprised, however, if the Lucina gets a stock and a great fight on that last stock.
I think that I would tend to agree, mostly because I think playing zoners is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It is very much a hard game to play, but playing into zoners is much harder. If you are not experienced with playing into zoners, it is so easy just to get rolled and to feel helpless and like you're suffocated and you can't do anything.
The air becomes heavy. You feel like you're choking. Like.
And it's like you're just like, oh, I'll sit back. I guess I'll block. I guess I'll take this hit. I guess I'll be off the ledge. I guess I'm recovering again. I guess I just got gimped again for no reason. Like, it's so easy to feel like that when playing against zoners that I feel like just off of that alone, Min Min can be a very tough character to kind of try and play against.
Agreed. You know, just from that interaction with the Min Min v Min Min, it was pretty obvious that I wouldn't want to play into that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But let's go ahead and hop into game. Bobcats versus SNHU. Carried versus Font Diner. Swanky going to drop off there, lose that first stock. This one stock advantage for Carried to go into this game. We'll see if they're able to close the distance here on Min Min.
Early indications say yes, but those first couple moves are not always indicative of the rest of the game.
Kind of begins now. Swanky starting to take some screen space, but Carey just starting to move in now off the ledge. Will be able to escape, get the punish on the up B that lands on the ledge. Now an up B once again, now just in free fall. Carried is in a rough situation right now.
Yeah, again, it's tough because once Swanky is able to get a couple of those hits in, now Swanky has stage control. Lucina is on the back foot and has to be the one to take initiative and get that real closing, you know, that decisive hit to be able to get that combo started, close the gap, and keep it closed.
Swanky's stuck on this platform now, waiting for the hit in. Just gonna sit there, hold block. She's gonna hit it, and to get the punish comes out. Swanky finds that kill only at 62% already, and starting to build up a significant amount of damage as well. Carey throwing up that up B like there's no tomorrow. Just does not feel any sort of reservations about throwing it out, and I think that might be a little bit dangerous.
This is exactly what I mean. Carried is already at 76%. Carried has gotten basically 0% on this new stock. This feels as though it has potential to just snowball, which would be really, really, really bad for the Bobcats. That's worst case scenario. What an aerial there.
What, has he taken 20 damage in that one stock? Swanky is still, I mean, he is just untouchable at the moment. This wall is just being set up, and it's so hard to break through for Carey, who's trying to approach, but this constantly, these long-range hits are just sending him away.
Yeah. Like you said, that was, ouch.
And he doesn't lose a stock. Swanky holds on to it. He does not lose a stock in that game. That is so huge. And SNHU, they just went from being down 1 stock to being up 2 stocks.
Yeah. That's what I love about crew battles. Momentum can turn on a dime.
Yeah. If there's one player who's really feeling himself today and he really is able to get in there, he can mess up what has been upset. Like, there's so many upsets every single night when we have crew battles. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Now the real question is, like, how do they respond to that?
Yeah.
That was a absolutely dominant game from Swanky.
Yeah, and you got to remember, right? SNHU already won the first set in this matchup. So and now that they're down to the final player for the Bobcats, this is a situation now where it's like, if the Bobcats can't bring this back, if they can't take the 5 stocks off of SNHU they need to find, that's it. That's it for the night. It's clinched out right there.
Again, these is not the 5 stocks, not insurmountable, but certainly not a position any team would want to find themselves in.
Yeah, you don't want to do that because, I mean, 5 stocks on, you know, if you're going into a game and you have 3 stocks and your opponent has 5 stocks, that's bad enough. But imagine after 2 stocks, your opponent switches. And now you have to relearn everything, especially if there's someone you haven't fought before. The matchup changes. They get to counterpick you potentially. Like, it is a tough situation to be in. But that's, I mean, crew battles, being on the back foot is so punishing. It's so rough. You really have to make a miracle work to make a comeback happen, and we see that a lot. We see a lot of miracles happen on crew battles. That's so much fun.
That's the cool thing about Smash in general, to be honest. It's one of those games that can be snowbally, but also, you know, just can be not like that, and can just turn 50 times a match.
Oh yeah, it is so, like, momentum matters, right? But you know, it is so easy to find an early kill in this game. Like, if someone makes one mistake, that can cost them the round, right? And that stuff like that happens in other fighting games too. It's like, oh, I blocked your DP. I get a big counter hit combo here. You take 60% of your health and damage. Very rarely is it you die.
Yeah.
Like, in Smash, it's like, oh, your recovery was predictable, or you let me gimp you off the ledge, or you just, you know, SD'd, a misinput happened, and you die.
Yeah.
You die. Like, you
like,
effectively lose a round.
Like, imagine playing Street Fighter, and instead of doing, like, quarter circle back, you do quarter circle forward. And
you die.
Yeah, instead of popping the Hadouken, instead of the Tatsu, you just collapse.
Yeah. Your character has, like, a heart attack and falls over.
Yeah,
that's what can happen in Smash.
And then you're like, gets worse if your, like, opponent pops off. And then, like,
Smash is such an interesting game because you can just die. Like you can SD like straight up. If you make a mistake, you can die completely on your own. That's not a thing in traditional fighting games. Very rarely can you just like walk off the ledge. Not even like Soul Calibur can you do that.
Here's that more aggressive rushdown that you were talking about earlier with that Roy. I think it got said once or twice.
Yeah, this is what I want to see. I think I might have brought this up once or twice before. I can't remember, but the Roy playing into this is, I mean, talking about counter picks and how those can come out midway through battles is very interesting. Like, Roy is going to be a character I think very similar to Lucina, of course, but going to be able to just break through that zoning defense a lot faster and a lot more efficiently.
Yeah. Also, I'm fairly sure that Roy's recovery is a lot less crushingly vertical.
Yeah,
so
it's much more horizontal.
Which is going to allow, I think, for a bit of a better approach when trying to break through that wall. Of course, it's difficult to even set up that wall with how fast Roy is and how much damage and knockback is done in close range.
Starts to get in, but Smikey will be able to take the ledge here, be able to try and suppress some of the advantage here on Comet. Sends him from ledge to ledge, coast to coast, from blast zone to blast zone, but not able to find that follow-up hit. And now he is the one who has to try and land into Comet here on the edge. Both sides very, very high up. Next hit, very likely to kill, but it will be Comet who finds this hit, and now Smikey has to try and land. He won't be able to find that hit. He gets the ledge. Will be able to buy a lot of space for himself, get back up here in time.
Yeah, able to just slow this game down a little bit. I thought that wasn't gonna kill there. I thought I was about to get baited by the lightning, but I was not.
The blade dance comes out, and that really can just kill so fast if you're not ready for it. And that the Comet, the lightning comes out there, but not gonna kill. Will be happen once again. Now 2-1. Swanky starts to make up the difference here as both sides relatively low. Comet does have a stock advantage, but Swanky's got to deal with this Roy just running him down.
Yeah, that's a big thing with these rushdown characters. Oh my goodness.
Got the sweet spot there right on the hilt and found a kill at 86%. A super fast forward smash coming out, and Roy is going to take that one here. It is now 3 stocks for SNHU, 2 stocks for the Bobcats. Very, very close here. Down to the wire, but slightly in the advantage of SNHU as we get ready to go into the final game.
Yeah, this is... Oh boy.
Yeah. This is scary. This is scary for SNHU. Like we were talking about the nerves last time where it's like, oh, if I don't win this, then we have to go play game 3. And then if I win this, we clinch it out. We get to go home. We get to go eat food, right? But you gotta be.
I kind of want to do that right now.
That sounds really nice.
That sounds really good, right?
Yeah.
I put in a pickup order, so I'm
awesome.
I'm raring to go.
Oh yeah. As soon as you get out of here, it is right on over there. But
oh yeah.
We might still be here for a bit. So don't get too excited about that, because this Roy, he's still got 2 stocks left. And Roy, man, he's a character who can kill you fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I played a little bit of Roy when he came out in Smash 4.
Oh yeah.
That was a good day.
Oh yeah, it was. I love Roy so much in Smash Ultimate and in Smash 4. It's such a fun character. And the fact that he's actually good in Smash Ultimate makes me so happy, because he is such a sick character to watch. I really love seeing Roy do well. But it is scary what's coming up here. 2-3, good scoreline for SNHU, but still a little scary.
Yeah, early kill for the Bobcats would make that null and void.
Yeah.
Obviously not what you're looking for SNHU. A lot of this is going to come down to the, can't even say counterpick. You're not counterpicking. You're putting in your last person.
Yeah.
There's no
hopefully they have a good matchup.
Yeah. This is not luck of the draw necessarily, but it's as close to a lottery as you're going to get.
Yeah, so I'm really interested to see what the last player here for SNHU is, because they know the Roy's come out. Right, Roy's got some decent matchups, but I feel like he can really get stuffed by some certain specific picks. We'll see. Those are something that can come out here. I really hope we get to see someone come like I want to see Ongrono final player. I want to see Ongrono final player. I want to see the FGC characters come out, because it is him. It is him. I knew it. Okay, so we're gonna see some FGC characters come out. Right, probably Terry. That's typically his go-to. Right, but if he really wanted to. Right, these Street Fighter characters in particular, Ryu and Ken, very much defensive, and playing into Roy, who can just run into you, you can really exploit how defensive they are.
Absolutely, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. You know, your clairvoyance will.
Is the Terry. Okay, two very hard rush downs going right into each other.
Getting the force push off the ledge there.
Comet will be down a stock if Ongrono is able to establish a strong lead early on. That could seal the game then and there, but I mean, Roy is a character that can absolutely kill you right off the bat if you're not careful, and a little scary there from Ongrono. Will be able to get off the ledge there, but just trying to play into guard here. Comet not able to hit that grab, and now going to eat a combo here. Power dunk not going to get the full connect, unfortunately, but a lot of damage is built up here on Comet.
Yeah, somehow along the way, Comet has hit 105%. I don't know what stops were made along the road, but yeah, my goodness, so much percent so fast, and now this is a really, really dangerous game for Comet. One good hit will take this stock, and we'll be in a one-stock scenario.
They're able to get up, able to take a little bit of damage and space there, but now just going from ledge to ledge. Crack shoot goes in, goes straight through that ledge defense, so the power dunk doesn't connect, and now Ongrono's off the edge. He is able to get back up. He's able to establish a little bit of space here, just narrowly making it in time. Comet's at 150%. That might kill outright, and Comet's only got one stock left on Ongrono with a two-stock lead. Barely hanging on to life at the moment. He's got go.
Go meter. Whoa, oh, that's nasty. Just barely able to recover. This go meter might be huge if Ongrono is able to get one big hit. That the power geyser
connecting. Comet, if Ongrono's able to get a punish here, that can potentially do it, but he's just going to fall off there. Doesn't have the resources needed to get back, and Comet now is able to take a stock, but he's at 42% on his final stock here, and Ongrono, if he's able to get in there, if he's able to find an opening, he could easily turn that 50 into a 100.
Yeah, there needs to be a miracle here for Comet. Ongrono was able to get 80, 100% in the span of just a few seconds.
Whoa.
Very, very close there, but
almost that miracle you're talking about, but a nice combo into the power dunk once again. Comet now at 90%. Very, very tough game happening at the moment. Ongrono starting to get built up here. Able to recover onto the ledge.
That recovery really
just narrowly got go, and this is a scary situation for Comet, but he's not able to get up in time. Ongrono goes down to his final stock. Comet at 90% is hanging on.
That looked like an accident class fall to me. Comet at 120. Now, one of these good moves is gonna end it. Great shield
pressure. Oh, power dunk! Not gonna kill!
Barely lives.
He's hanging on still, but it's gonna happen again. Send him up and out of here. SNHU are closing out this game. They said the first set went 1-1 down to the final stock, and it happened again. Ongrono is able to close out this game and finish it off there.
God.
What a display.
Terry's just so sick.
He is
I don't know what
he's so sick.
I don't know what to tell you. Terry's just kind of swaggy with it.
I love KOF. I love KOF. KOF is such a sick game. Terry's such a sick game. What a cool character to be in here.
What an absolute Chad. Didn't even need the go meter.
No, it would have really helped. but
absolutely.
But if he was able to get on stage with it once, I think that the game would have looked a lot different.
Would have gotten some sweat off the brows of Ongrono there.
That definitely would have helped.
And the rest of his teammates that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it got picked up on cast, but we could hear it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cheering going on in here. There's definitely a tense finale to that one. A lot of drama going on here, but that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. If you want more, you can check out our Twitter at SNHU Esports. You'll be able to find all sorts of clips, match updates, as well as anything going on in, around the arena, all sorts of events, anything like that you'll be able to find there, as well as on our Discord. Hi, Duffy. At our Discord, which is /SNHU Esports. You'll be able to find everything I just said there as well. We'll be back tomorrow night, not with League of Legends. We'll be back with Rocket League. Had to reschedule, so Rocket League will be here at, I believe, 7 p.m. Keep an eye on our Twitter for any sort of updates on that match as well. But that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Necessarily the correct word here, but you can play without worrying so much about making a couple of small mistakes here. You only need to take one stop.
Oh, and he's gonna do it.
And take those risks, get those big hits. Although Big Fish doing a really good job of making that space
far off screen. Actually, not gonna get the throw off that. Just gonna continue to press the pummel, just try and build up this percentage a little bit. PK Fire going out because a lot of space for Lucas here. Just going in close.
You are gone, turned to dust. You got to be very careful to avoid that.
There is going to be, if that hits Lucas right now at 148%, which if pummel away in Northeast Canada, he's already at 100% on that final stock.
Yeah, it's a tough scenario, honestly.
Good stuff, good stuff. Might actually be able. Good stuff. Might actually be able to stop her from getting back up. Big Fish going to go down on the final stock down NordVPN. 114% in a weird spot off the side and will immediately.
It took, what, 80% to get there, but they made it. Let's see what they can do with it.
It's been a tough situation. Now here they are. They're able to kind of beat this wall. And
let's see what they can do with it.
It's been a tough situation. Now here they are. They're able to kind of beat this wall. And Swanky just so far out is not going to be able to recover. That is a stock off of that, but Big Fish.
Decisive hit to be able to get that combo started, close the gap, and keep it.
Stuck on this platform now, waiting for the hit in. Just gonna sit there.
This feels as though it has potential to just snowball, which would be really bad for the Bobcats. That's the worst case scenario.
Coach, but constantly, these long-range hits are just sending him away.
Yeah, like you said,
Try and land, he won't be able to find that hit. Gets the ledge, will be able to buy a lot of space for himself, get back up here in time.
Yeah, able to just slow this game down a little bit.
Comet does have a stock advantage, but Swanky's got to deal with this Roy just running him down.
Yeah, that's a big thing with these Rushdown characters.
Oh
my goodness!
Got the smite through that ledge defense, so the power dunk doesn't connect, and now Ongrono's off the edge. He is able to get back up. He's able to establish a little bit of space here, just narrowly making it in time. Comet's at 150%. That might kill outright.
Big hit. The power guys are
connecting. Comet, if Ongrono's able to get a punish here, that could potentially do it, but Ongrono's starting to get built up here. Able to recover onto the ledge.
That recovery really
just narrowly got go, and this is a scary situation for Comet, but he's not able to get up. It's hanging on.
That looked like an accident fastball to me. Comet at 120. Now, one of these good moves is gonna end it. Great shield pressure.
Power dunk.
Now, one of these good moves is gonna end it. Great shield pressure.
Power dunk. Not gonna kill.
Barely lives.
He's hanging on still, but it's gonna happen.
Barely the correct